This is Monday with the Mayor on 18 WJTS, and we are at Huntingburg City Hall talking with Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner. Good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing well, Bill. Thank you.
Well, now we're going to start some things off. There's a lot that goes on in Huntingburg, and a lot of the things you see that are in the background that are happening. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Now, with the 4th Street Heritage Trail project, there's been a few setbacks, but where are we on that?
As was discussed at a public meeting with our property owners, merchants in downtown, and also with our city council, we received bids for the project in a few months back, and the bid was over our estimated cost. And after a serious discussion with the design team, with the council, it was decided to reject the bids and come back and rescope the project and look at doing it in 2019 rather than 2018. The bottom line here, number one, very important, there will be a project. There will be a project done in 2019. And in a lot of ways, what looks like it was disappointing that we couldn't move ahead with it, but probably along the bigger scope of things, it's going to be a better time for us to do that in 2019 for a lot of reasons. One of those being fiscally. We would have more we'll have more flexibility in 2019 than we do in 2018 due to our commitments to the other major project that's going on in Market Street. So a 2019 project will probably fit better from the budget-wise for our city. Also related to Market Street, it gives us a breathing space. Market Street will be done. We'll get a little time, and then we'll go back into construction for 2019 for 4th Street. So for the merchants, for the downtown flow of traffic, we want to get Market Street done and kind of see how that works before we jump into another project. So having them going on at the same time could have been done, but it would have been very stressful. And third of all, one thing that I want to make sure, we will have a project. And now we're as anybody does, I've had home improvement projects that starts with we're going to do this, and then it goes into something that goes, wait a minute, where are we? What this allowed us to do, and I'll be honest, it was a wish list. We wanted to do everything that we could do. We're going to be more realistic. We are still going to hit the goals that we had for 4th Street. From the very beginning, and that is an enhanced experience in the downtown that truly reflects Huntingburg's character. That will happen. We need to address the stormwater issue in downtown. That's one of our biggest concerns, and that will happen as part of this project. And we want this to be a project that matches the goals of our stellar community designation. And that will happen. So all those things are on the table, but we've got to do it within a budget that is right. And that will also give us opportunity over this next several months we're in meetings with our design team. We're looking at issues. We're looking at ways that we can conserve costs. We're looking at ways to still hit the goals, but create the project that everybody will be very happy with.
I think, the citizenry of Huntingburg can be thankful for the frugalness and just, sometimes you do have to step back and go, well, no, this is not right now. We'll move forward, and thank you very much for doing that.
The city council made very good, the council is the fiscal body, and they understand this, and I think they made a decision that after the decision was made to hold the project off, yes, there was some disappointment, but by and large, our downtown merchants, as I've talked to them after this decision, they are in support of this. They understand why we're doing it. They're doing it for the right reason. They all agree that this is the method by which it will go. It should go, and we're making responsible decisions. And I applaud everyone for their support. And the one thing that I want to say, we heard loud and clear. No one in the meeting that we had when we shared this information with our merchants downtown. Again, there was some disappointment, but there was not a voice that spoke up and said, well, we shouldn't do this project at all. We still have tremendous support for this project from the city council, from the merchants, and from the citizenry, that this is a project that we need to get done, but do it in the right way.
Now, you alluded a little bit to Market Street, and Market Street's going to be great when it's done. But you're at that point now where people driving by on a daily basis are going, I don't really see where they're doing anything. Right. Because it's like when you build a house. All of a sudden the walls are up, but you don't realize there's a lot of plumbing and wiring, and that all takes time that's work being done you don't see.
Right. Right now we're at, and again, everybody, the questions we get about Market Street are constant. Well, what's going on? Well, I ask the same questions, Bill. We have a weekly progress meeting with the contractor, with our manager of our project, with the city officials that go through day by day, week by week of what's happening and what's expected to be happening. Everything that's going on now goes back to one of the things I said about 4th Street. There has been a stormwater issue in Huntingburg, in our downtown area for quite some time that affects not only the downtown, but all the water that comes into the downtown. And if you just, water runs downhill. I found that out. And but Market Street is the low point of their downtown. So all that water that's coming it comes through Market Street. Probably more than half the cost of this project is in the ground. And what you're seeing right now is an effort to do a better job of handling the stormwater that comes through the heart of the city and on down to the treatment plant. So what we're doing underground is our one chance to really get this right. And it is in conjunction with what's going on 4th Street. If we improve the capacity on 4th Street, we have to improve the pipes that handle that increased flow. So that's what's going on in the ground right now. So when you look down there and you see that it doesn't appear that anything's going above the ground, there is a lot of significant work underground to make sure this is our one time to do it. Let's get it right, because once we get that beautiful park on top of it, we really don't want to dig into it anymore. We want to make sure that everything under the ground, everything from electric to gas to water to sewer, is done in the way that we can be fairly confident that we won't have to go disturb this beautiful park that's going to come above it. We're still on a deadline of getting the project done by July, and I think we're still there. The meetings that we have, the timeline still holds that the park should be significantly completed by the end of July. So you're going to see a lot of progress above the ground soon, but work is being done every day.
You got to get that foundation built first.
Build the foundation.
In February, the City Council approved studying the city's stormwater system, as you mentioned, and the potential utility costs needed to assess improvements or repairs. Has there been any information about that study yet?
Actually, at the council meeting on Tuesday night, we asked 5 firms to present proposals to the city for our review to design the stormwater system. Now, we're not talking about designing physical things. We're talking about designing more the structure of what it would take to have a stormwater utility in the city of Huntingburg. There's a certain level, for example, our friends in Jasper have a stormwater utility, but they're required to have that based on their population threshold. Huntingburg, we believe, is going to pass that threshold somewhere down the road. As we continue to grow, we're going to have a stormwater system at some time. Also, we're looking at this is there are stormwater issues that are being discovered that are really kind of hidden in the street department's budget, because when the street department does any kind of project, for example, the Washington Street project that was just completed, a significant portion of that project dealt with stormwater. That's everything that happens on those streets happens. So we're just looking at the way of how could we maybe increase some revenues to spend money specifically on stormwater issues and maybe free up some additional funds to do more paving. So it's And of course, there's a cost that goes along with that. So what this proposal is going to do is lay out to us what it would take to establish a stormwater system in Huntingburg and what the cost associated with that is. Once that report is given to the council, they're going to review it and make a decision on whether or not this is the time that we want to do this. Nothing has been put in place as to saying we're going to pass a stormwater rate. What this study will do for us is give us the framework and good information for the council to review and decide, is this the time for us to do this? And that's again, a good fiscal responsible decision. We know there are projects coming up that we would like to do, but there's just not the money to do it under the current tax system. The only way to do that would be raise taxes. Well, let's find the right way to do this. That's what this study is going to help us decide. What is the right method for us to progress as a city towards having some way to generate funds to do the projects that we would all want to do.
Now, we're talking a lot about water. So pretty soon you can start flushing. Yeah, we're going to start flushing hydrants.
Right.
And I've always wondered, it seems like a waste of water, waste of time to be doing this. Why is it done?
Well, the flushing will start on April 2nd. and we'll continue for the month, and we'll be announcing as we go through what areas we're going to do. I'm going to just steal directly from a news release that we put out with Gary Meyer-Holtz, our water superintendent, and Rachel Steckler, our director of communications, put this out. They say it much better than I do, so allow me to get this right. I will read directly from. So flushing is performed to improve water quality and is necessary as a preventative maintenance activity to have proper water line function. As you said, it may appear that you're wasting water, but flushing actually improves the pressure of the things of the water flow, and that affects directly fire protection. So we want to make sure that the pipes are running well enough to give us the pressure that we need to fight fires should there be a fire incident. Also, it helps in maintaining valve and hydrant operation. It's just like any other piece of equipment. If you don't use it every once in a while, and when you need it, it may not work. So thankfully, we don't have to use our fire hydrants on a regular basis. But if you do, you want it to work. So this flushing procedure also makes sure the hydrants are all working, the valves are all working, to assure that should an emergency happen, we can go to that hydrant and we know it's going to work. So there's a lot of reasons why it happens, and this is just a preventative maintenance. We don't want to come up to that hydrant and have it not work, and then we have a much, much bigger problem. The key to remember is that water is safe to drink during this time. If they're flushing in your area, you see the flushing going on, you say, well, yes, I can drink it. But there is some if you're doing laundry, you might want to run cold water through the tap for about 5 to 6 minutes. So make sure there's no discolorization, because when that flushing happens, the bad stuff gets flushed out, and there could be some things in the water that might affect your laundry. So 5 to 7 minutes before you do any laundry would be the recommendation that we have. And again, keep your eye on the website or on news services such as your news service on exactly where we're going to go. We wait to you start, and you want to see how long it takes to get from one area to another. So we'll have continual updates on where the areas of flushing will happen at a specific time. But that's coming up on the week of April 2nd is when that will start, and it will go pretty well for the whole month.
All right. Well, Mayor, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Bill. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you for watching WJTS. This has been Monday with the Mayor, featuring Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner. I'm Bill Potter. We'll be back with more right after this on 18 WJTS.